Welcome back. As the pandemic continues to burn its way through the planet, hundreds of millions of us have moved our social lives, book clubs, churches, and yoga classes to video conferencing platforms like Zoom, Skype, GoToMeeting, Jitsi, and FaceTime. It's been an adjustment, but as I've been participating in these virtual meetings for many hours every week now, it's occurred to me that the skills that I gleaned over the past few decades as a filmmaker are directly applicable to these situations, and they're enabling me to be literally more present in this new virtual world. In this series of videos, I'm going to go over the technical and aesthetic principles that you can use to be more present in a video conference. I'm dividing it into 3 levels based on your budget and access to equipment. In this first video, I'm going to talk about the things that you can do if you have nothing but the built-in camera and microphone in your laptop or desktop. In the next video, I'll talk about what you can do if you're willing to spend a little more money on your setup. And in the final video, I'm going to cover the kinds of things you can do if you're willing to spend some substantial money on gear. So when you sit down for your video conference, the first thing you want to think about is sound. The quality of your sound is far and away the most important thing you can do to improve your virtual presence. Depending on the number of participants in your video conference, you may end up only occupying a few square inches on someone's screen. Your sound, on the other hand, will come through their speakers or headphones full blast when you speak. There are 2 rules in sound that will make more of a difference in your virtual presence than anything else. In terms of the room itself, you obviously want to be in the quietest spot you can find, but you also want to be in a room that has lots of furniture or other objects that can absorb the sound waves of your voice. What you don't want is a room where your voice bounces off of hard surfaces and comes back into the mic as an echo. Your ability to get away with a wider variety of spaces will improve as you invest a little more in your setup, but in this video, I'm assuming that you just have a personal computer with a built-in mic and webcam. So what you're listening to now is the sound of a fairly noisy room in my house and a reflective room. This is my kitchen. You can hear the sound of the compressor of the fridge. And even though I'm within a couple of feet of the laptop microphone, you can hear a kind of echo as my voice bounces off of the hard surfaces in here. Okay, so now I'm in a much quieter room in my house, and in addition to being quieter, it's also drier from a sound perspective, which is what we want in a video conference. You can still probably hear, when I stop talking, you'll still probably be able to hear a little bit of the outside street noise. But you can tell that even though I'm at the exact same distance from the microphone on the laptop, this is a much better sound result than what we had in the kitchen. In a situation where you're conferencing through a laptop or a desktop, your camera and mic placement are functionally identical. So how you frame your shot will be one of the limiting factors when it comes to how close you can get to the mic and vice versa. Getting close to the mic to maximize your signal-to-noise ratio will limit how you can frame your shot and where you can sit in relation to your computer. Strive to have your face no further than 2 feet away from the screen for the best sound results. This is me talking into the microphone in a reflective space from 1 foot away. This is me talking in a reflective space 2 feet away from the microphone. This is me talking in a reflective space 3 feet from the microphone. This is me in a relatively dry space talking 1 foot away from the microphone. This is me in a relatively dry space talking 2 feet away from the microphone. This is me in a relatively dry space talking 3 feet away from the microphone. And now it's time to talk about image. The first thing you want to think about is your background. I know that they can be fun, but the key is never perfect, and you'll inevitably come in and out of the background, which means that sometimes parts of your body will be swallowed up and appear to be missing. This gimmick is a distraction, and it will interfere with your virtual presence. Just say no. White walls make you look like you're a prisoner in some underground facility. I understand that they're everywhere, but we can do so much better. In this day and age, people are more forgiving of domestic backgrounds, so your kitchen or a living room can be great. In a study against some bookshelves is a classic choice that can work also, but whatever you go with, just make sure that the space is not too messy. Web cameras are kind of dumb. If you point them at a bright light source, there's a good chance that they'll freak out and either overexpose the whole image, making your face look washed out, or expose for the light source, putting your face in total shadow. If there's a window in your background, pull a curtain or a blind over it, and if there's a bright light fixture, try to frame it out. Consider also just turning around so that the window light is illuminating you instead of overpowering your webcam. The next thing that we want to think about with image is eye level. This is typically more of a concern with laptops than with desktops, but making sure your eye level is correct is essential in creating a natural virtual presence. You want to get the web camera to be at or above eye level. Anything lower and you have an odd up the nose kind of angle, and anything higher and you start to get into strange top-down territory. To get this right, you may need to prop the laptop or desktop up with some books or boxes. If the camera is in the top bevel of the screen, you want it to be as close to a 90-degree angle from the keyboard as is possible, given your framing constraints. Bear in mind that it will always be more flattering for your face to angle the camera down a little than it is to angle it up a little, so when you're adjusting the height of your computer, bear this in mind. The next piece of the image puzzle is lighting. And because you're working with a webcam, my recommendation is to make sure that the room you choose has good overall natural or artificial light. This makes it easier for the webcam to deliver a well-exposed image. If it's dark, the webcam will struggle and the image will look noisy. The final point I'd like to discuss here is about how you engage with the camera. I know that it feels natural when you're video conferencing to talk to the image of the person or people that you're engaging with by looking at them on the screen. But a little thing that you can do that'll go a long way towards improving your presence in these situations, especially when you're the one talking, is to look at the camera instead of the screen. Doing this is the virtual equivalent of making eye contact in the real world. It just gives the person you're talking to that extra little bit of connection. That's it for this video, folks. In the next one, I'll be talking about some things that you can do to improve your presence further with a small investment in your gear. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to be the first to know when the next video gets posted, go ahead and click on that little bell icon to be notified. If you have any questions or suggestions, go ahead and pop them in the comment section below. And if you'd like to help support what I do here, you can rent or buy my films or even pitch into the crowdfunding campaign for the film that I'm working on now. The links for all that jazz will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for your attention. Until next time.